some improvements, and I think a tournament like Lorgar coming up is obviously going to give them something to work towards. So I do feel that, you know, the fighters side of things, which looked quite loose and just ultimately trying to keep the mindset in the right place and work together off of like basic calls, try and get some trading done and whatnot, but not as much depth on the surface. So I think that Diamant, I'm kind of with you, have got a pretty good chance at this one.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out. We're live. Let's see. CT side start for Diamant. We're going to go towards A. A itself, there's a pretty big gap here. I mean, they've gone for a pretty heavy mid lane, Diamant, so they can rotate in quickly, but let's see. Destroyer's going to get out in front of that smoke, but this is still a bit of weird. No, he actually cancels it. He completely gives it up. It's a rogue move to go for such a hefty mid lane and rely entirely on the retake. They've got one kit in the retake as well and a couple of flashes. So it's not exactly like they're like fully set up for that retake in itself in terms of loads of util.
Yeah, this is true. Just going to come down to the landing the shots, really. You need to open up. They are stacked in a pretty nice kind of way on the T side, losing a couple of heads. No trades back, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, Diamant. Been doing their pistol practice, that's for damn sure. They've just taken every single head. Hardly any damage returned. And they will indeed pick up that pistol.
Nice work. I was very worried, I have to be said, about that retake. It just, again, because they weren't, you know, we see some teams where they play specifically for retakes, right? Where they've essentially got like two players with two smokes, two flashes, someone else got a kit, you know, they go for kind of this sort of play. I was a little concerned there with just two flashes and one kit, that was not going to be enough, but good start for them. And again, this is like the depth that's going to be the big difference maker, where I'm very heavily leaning in the favor of this Diamant side here. Like, this is kind of what I was saying. Like, it feels like for me, like, this group, the way it's set up, there's like quite clear rungs of like the differences in level. You've got obviously kind of Khaleesi at the top that are like head and shoulders above everybody else. Rottweilers, their individuals are so much better than everyone else. And then Diamant, they're not as sharp as Rottweilers, but they've got decent, you know, strategy and they've got teamwork and whatnot. And their fighters, they're just a mix with some more unknown names. That's a bit of a fortunate shot, I will say, but credit to. It's a nice one to get. But you know, generally speaking, it feels like they're quite separated in their sort of like their rungs, their areas, and we'll see if I'm proven right or wrong here.
Going in with a nice one. Evening up the numbers once again. So is there a way for the Fighters boys to unlock this A-bomb site in particular? That seems to be where they want to go. Uni holding here, does have the support behind him, but has to be careful. Distraction on the camera player. They'll start bursting forwards to try and take him down. Uni strikes, however, and the sense of timing has just worked out. Riggy was moving in mid before the rest of the squad, and the distractionary play actually works out better for the CT side.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm actually looking forward to seeing kind of what Uni can bring to the table. I've been asking around and I've heard some really good things about him individually. I think I was speaking to kind of Jack Zerfa earlier, and I'm pretty sure he mentioned that in the past he coached Uni. And he said he's very, very sharp, and he was telling me keep an eye out for him. But we caught him already and see some decent stuff. So I'm interested to see how deep it goes. Of course, once again, check out our partners at Lorgar. Track your performance, meet your mates, customize any of our devices. All in one statistically enhanced and community-proven Lorgar platform. A double kill to start things off for fighters, though. Nice work. Riggy and Byfield, their first kills of the game so far. That's a fantastic flash, though, for Libra to reclaim some space.
Picks up a second M4, so he doesn't have to reload. Is that smart? Maybe. with these new changes. You could see the cogs kind of whirring in his head there. Can fighters convert this one, though? That's what a lot of this comes down to, and I think we'll be conversating for sure. So far, so good. Round's getting on a bit, though. Got to start making a move here, and, well, it really does depend. If they end on A, it's just over. But if they go B,
yeah.
real death trap over there.
Agreed. Still, though. Quiet for now, as they get that bomb down, and a question to be had of, as the bomb goes on, what is the reaction like, if anything, for Diamant? And you can see they're shelling up for the save. Want nothing to do with it. I can't really blame them. No point giving this one a look in. Maybe a slight proactive exit play, like stick around and see. Potentially, you can make it a little bit expensive. You'll know that T-side economy is not really properly built up.
Terrorists win.
First on the board, and the question is, will it now be first to many?
Suppose we'll find out, really. It's a big run of rounds on the cards for fighters if they can start looking more competitive. Comes off the back of some openers of Diamant, you know, got it in their locker to try and come up with something fresh. That's where it might get difficult here, I think, now, you know. Diamant, they've got a few ideas, some rounds that you work on before that it's like, okay, this is what we're going to go for, and this is how we'll approach the first rifle, the second rifle maybe. But when it comes to doing things on the fly and getting a bit close and trying to deal with bigger, tougher rounds, I'm not so sure. They might not have the creativity. They might not have the super deep strat book available.
Yeah.
So I do quietly worry if fighters start getting their claws in.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Not convinced just yet, though. I think I need to see a lead in this first half for me to really believe in that being a possibility. Under 30 seconds, though. I don't know if there's time. Towards there they come to meet them. Bit of a crossfire here. Libra should be able to trade and can, but the trades are much better by fighters. That's a nice move. And credit to Byfield on that trade. That basically gives them the round. I don't know if Diamant want to give this a go unless they get a really early kill here on the retake.
Yeah, huge crunch. Really well played, and I think with just such a deep position for the fighters at the moment, the AWP was maybe their only hope. Jixie's out of there. Destro as well, getting caught in towards A main, so not going to happen. Save coming in. More and more of them, really. To be expected. Diamant probably not going to be buying into the next round, especially if both these players go down. I don't think that will be the case. Got an AK scooped up here. So they'll manage to save. Don't quite have enough to drop. I don't think you go for this. It's a little unfortunate. If the money had worked out that you could drop, because we're just so early in the game, you know, it's full spend in every round. And indeed, not going to happen. So, crazy kind of stuff on the cards, as the fighters may well be able to take a very early lead here.
One AWP, one AK. We did see this round of the previous series work. That looked on to me. Unlucky for Jixie, but nice shot by Riggy. Had to look dead on, but I think the aim punch actually maybe pushes it off. Nerri very nearly getting caught. Util in hand. Sektar asking the Ollie will come up and over. They were going to go for a boost, which is pretty nice when it's set up. The Molly denies it.
Still got this AK in play. So got to keep your eyes on that. Destro with a slightly later move. He is going to get caught. Expecting someone in that corner. Unfortunately, lets him down. I feel like he just full sent it on the swing. He might have caught a player. Not the case. Now, Yone's got a question. Do I want to get involved? I think it starts to answer itself, really, as this B-bomb site falls. Fighter's going to move up to 3.
At least the AK, for now, stays alive. That AWP is, as we knew from the basically the initial kill, is completely unrecoverable. I don't know, this AK might potentially die. It's so unfortunate it's a Mach 10. The AK will fall. It's cruel in a way if it's the Mach 10. That is the thing that survives when there was an AK and an AWP in the round initially, but that it would be the case. Good round for fighters. Oh, well. 3-2 lead taken, but a chance at response now as they come back in towards the buy. Diamant getting pulled apart a little bit. Last couple of rounds, I think this fighter's side are proven. There is a bit of depth to them, but also relatively sharp. Byfield paid out with a little jump there. I think Riggy's looking pretty good as well. For me, could be a player to kind of keep an eye out for. We know kind of Coswick, he's printing out players, but here's to be another one that I'd never heard of prior to us casting this side of the day. But yeah, I like what I see.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what I was saying, man. I just don't know. It's an interesting, again, kind of take. Maybe we have TLR at the moment doing a bit of something in the UK scene and into Europe. It's like, you know, is CS a solved game? Can you play it in that way? And I think that Diamant are maybe approaching it with a lot of strat and working on these rounds and whatnot. Whereas fighters are fundamentals first. Yes. Figure the rest out later. Yeah, maybe not quite as deep for them, but it seems to be working. And they have general contact moves, the basic utility that you need to break into a bomb site. I'm pretty sure like that heaven smoke was just eyeballed, you know. So it's starting to unravel a little bit for Diamant, as they will once again get bested on A, and it's another save.
Yeah, I just think it's so simple. They're seeing consistent gaps opening up, right? And they just know that these slightly more punchier rounds are working for them. It's a nice double for Clutch. It's his first 2 kills as well. Obviously, he wasn't part of this side in their kind of first game out. And another one that we don't really know who he is. Waiting to see what he can kind of bring to the table. I thought Henky G had a couple of moments here and there, but yeah, maybe a bit of an injection of firepower could be really adding to this side. Fighters already look a lot more in control right now. And again, it's probably worth mentioning that I don't know how it's going to be like for the CT side. I think this is going to be a thing for both sides. Like, I think generally T sides can be like a little bit easier to formulate in the sense of like, we know how we want to play it. Like, I am going to be taking this space based on my spawns, or we're both going to be kind of moving in towards water to try and wrap in towards B. These small things, right? CT side, that's where you need a little bit more of that synergy. But for Diamant, who I expect to have better, they're struggling. They're not looking as cohesive as I initially expected. Destroyer boys the molly, but caught a bit by the flash.
Ooh, nade damage is good there onto Libra. So a nice little start to chip away at them on the fighters' side. Fully backing off, though. Not necessarily got any further control of any areas, but they have managed to soften up a couple players. Highfield on the contact AWP here. Moving in, clearing angles. And there is indeed a mid player on the other side of all of this, but it just depends on how far they want to go. 50 seconds left on the clock now.
Gaza, nice move. Libra just goes dry. And with that smoke for the cross, they're actually going to wrap through it. Nerri is giving them the space. Rigi's going to get another as well. And another round which goes the way of fighters. They're leaving it late in the round, but they're just drawing out this side. And beautiful work. Diamant, all they can do again is just save. This side really are offering up much less than I expected. And it's round upon round, kind of gets a little bit worse and worse.
Uni. Trying to hold here. Oh, and they'll get taken down, so pretty perfect. And some loud voices. I believe we've got the Slovakian IESF jersey on there for one of the fighters guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we casted him.
We might have done. I don't know. Did they make it to...
That's the... No, I definitely recognize that jersey. Was that... Wait, I'm actually going to get the page up. Is it European
I'm not sure
Champions?
they made it this year. I'm not sure they made it to the European Champions. But you get the page up and double check. Obviously, I mean, you've done ISF for 2 or 3 years there, so...
yeah. Yeah, they were in the qualifier.
Ah, right, there you go.
The closed qual.
So I might not have done
No,
that
yeah,
at that
you
point.
didn't.
Yeah. But still, cool to see. Must have it from like previous years, maybe, if he's done representation.
Yeah, Team Slovenia was this Diamant side.
Yeah, no, I know that. No, sorry, it was a Slovakian.
Yes.
So like the one
But
of the
Slovakia,
boys.
Slovakia ended up having like a kind of like a mix that was like a few guys went down on Eklat and that kind of thing.
Right. There's definitely a team there in Slovakia that, you know, could quietly compete.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Things will get a bit interesting at the ENC in the not-so-distant future. So, see if they're able to put together a team. Not quite sure how that's going to work in qualification for that and whatnot, to be fair. But we'll find out. Either way. Uni and Libra here. Libra did get his hands onto an AK, but opts to back away. And just Uni remaining with this 5-7 to maybe try and catch one, maybe save his armor into the next. He's got lots of options, really, in terms of what he could do here.
Yeah. Uni. We'll have a late look in. He doesn't have a kit, so he's not going to have a chance to do anything like a Ninja the Fuse. 6 on the bounce. Not bad. See enough as well. So, all for naught. Yeah, 6 in a row now for fighters. This T side is relatively cleanly putting up at something to contend with, to be honest. It's fun. Some actually decent CS that they're kind of chaining back to back and making life really awkward.
All right, let's see. Slow roll here from the fighters. As I'm maybe just waiting for that first pickup. Maybe, by the looks of it, expecting some aggression from somewhere. Just not coming at the moment, though. Diamant. To be fair, it was something that they're, especially on the Ancient, they quite like doing, you know, a bit of coordinated aggression. But just not seeming to have it here on Anubis. So, looking to just play their sites and setups and hopefully not lose anyone too early. Let's try and work from there, right? The ground up kind of approach. Destra in the right place. Is there a flash with his name on as that smoke goes down? The answer is no, so he's going to back off and give that position up.
Looking for the boost, but not there. Molly in towards E-Box. Trying to kind of dive in, and they do. That first shot by Rigi is really, really nice. And Rayquaza will get one of his own too. Bomb just got across, but should be able to get planted in just a second.
Ooh, spam is good. He managed to get a couple of kills back, and oh my goodness, Fighters it has completely crumbled here. Byfield suddenly left in the clutch. He's flashed off. Is this bomb going to be open? I think the answer is yes. There's a tap that comes in, forcing him to peek.
Oh.
Takes a quick one round the corner. Looking for another here. The kit has not been retrieved, unfortunately, by Libra. Or maybe it has, actually. Yeah, it didn't quite pick up on the hood fast enough, and unfortunately, Byfield was not ready for that kit. And loses out, expecting another fake out. It will just be the straight defuse against him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a kind of a killer one to get around that, for the most part, actually feels undeserved for this Diamant side. But maybe that's something that can potentially ignite things back again, right? Start a bit more of that kind of pressure on. That hope is really about keeping things, in some vein at the very least, you know, competitive, because it had been 6 on the bounce. He waiting for a fight, or a smoke will come down to slow it down for now. And we know that fighters are so happy to play patient. That's just how they've been going about it.
Again, going through the same kind of motions here. There will be some aggression this time around as Diamant lining up for it ever so slightly better. Rigi goes down after a nice flash and reface from Destro. 5 versus 4 now, very quickly revealing itself. Diamant maybe with a chance to close the gap if they can use this newfound confidence to their advantage.
Shot. Byfield. Oh, on a second for him as well. Beautiful from Byfield. That 2 brings numbers back in favor of fighters, but look at the time here. 20 seconds to work with. Don't have a lot of it. Molly in towards back pillar. That'll clear out the close position. Clutcher. How's the swing? Perfect. As Juni loses his head. Yeah, lovely work. Really is. And that should be the round again. Nado coming towards camera. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. Destroyo is here, but I don't think he can really fight for this. He'll stick around with a quick trade.
Terrorists win.
Damn. That's scary, man. That's scary. The fighter's able to get back into that round despite the way that it started off. I think they will be kicking themselves as Diamant
Yeah, agreed.
kind of lost the mojo a little bit, taking another timeout here. And unfortunately, no closer to closing the gap. So it is quite worrying to say the least. There is, again, still some room. But easier said than done if you're letting opportunities like this slip through your fingers. Lovely stuff from Byfield. Had a tough one in that clutch, but big impact kills from him in the middle of the round.
I was doing a bit of research as well, just in between those couple of rounds, and I was trying to figure out which of those players was at ISF with that jersey, because I'm right saying that's a Team Slovakia jersey. The only one that made sense was Henky G, because he played 2021, and I remember him kind of being around for the qualifier of 22, but I don't think they ended up playing. But no one else has been involved for Team Slovakia. So I'm a bit baffled. I don't know who's wearing that jersey.
Maybe if you end up there, maybe you know someone. It's going to have to obviously be a slightly who you know type situation. Maybe if you're just part of the entourage, right?
Yeah.
Might not have been on the server, but might have been part of the coaching staff or something like that. That's not going to get listed as often, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Does anyone know? I suppose we gotta get it out there to the people. Let us know. You know.
I kind of initially thought it was Rayquaza by the camera, but the camera is sort of like from the side, so it's hard to tell.
P90 for Riggy. Not wasting any time here, and he will be deleted.
Waste our time by bringing it in.
Yeah, I mean, has he made a difference? I'm not sure. Maybe confused them a little, but they're actually set up very nicely for all this. Tried a flat A rush, and it's not really worked. Nerri's going to be the only one left. Super, super low. They know that he's here, and Downey will go on the edge of that smoke. So, gifted a fourth in the end. Is 4 going to be enough out from his CT side? That really is a subjective question. I think time will tell moving forwards if things are in a good enough position for the Slovenians. Fighters proving why maybe they moved towards this Anubis a couple times in this tournament thus far.
Yeah. That's true. 8-4 fighters. You get a pistol on in your CT, you should actually have no issues in closing out this map and putting yourself in a pretty good spot. Diamant. The run required on this T side, it's fairly long. I mean, Juxie's not offered up really anything in that first half. He's looked really kind of uncomfortable. And Destroyo, same thing for him. Flash round and jumping back turn is Libra to open up proceedings. And with the smoke in towards E-Box, that's going to give you some decent coverage. Bomb goes down quickly. A swing here is bowled by Destroyer. Let's rein ourselves back in, shall we?
Yeah, I think so, maybe. Riggy does manage to get one here. Clutch are going to be heavily tagged and finished off, as is Riggy. So, pistols look good. That gives you a big springboard to just close this gap. Doesn't come close. Not able to really make an argument for this following round, you know, for the conversions, things like this. Like, are they going to even go for the force buy? It seems like not. Try and get the guns out as early as possible, really.
Burn quick again, it seems. Diving through the goal, trying to line one up there, Nerri, but not to be. Ollie, back dark, they'll take sight. All they've got to do is clear E-Box, and they should have a free run at things here. Speaking of There they will. Clears a loose term, though, because Riggy scooped himself up an AK. Bomb's gone down, sure, but this is still a problem they have to deal with. Destroyo has made some serious cash for that MAC-10 and more. Sees the last off of a Glock, so no saving that AK, sir.
All right. Diamant then, doing well. Can they find this first rifle round? Will the T-side get off to a strong start? They absolutely need it, of course. These things are still not quite done just yet. Same for fighters. They've got a task to take this one over the line. Diamant could heat up. And as we saw with the D2, with the Ancient that they played a couple days ago, they had some nice executes. They had some good ideas. It's maybe not quite the execution that they needed for those ideas. Rayquaza will shut down the first push almost entirely. As Jixie's left very, very low as well. So it's a solid advantage.
Yeah, Nate. He's holding for aggression. He might get something off the back of this. Byfield. It's a half clearance, but a find for the T side. Back into a 4 versus 4. It's that advantage, that lead. Squandered, and in doing so, now it becomes interesting. Spray is laboured, very laboured. However, Riggy gets both here, surely. Surely. Oh, Riggy. Oh, Riggy. A one-man army barreling his way in towards the A site, and fighters finally get around on that CT side.
Yeah, I mean, all thanks to him, to be honest. Incredible. I mean, you know, you figure he gets the close player, the guy on the site, but he took a moment, he took a beat. Corrects his crosshair and finds loads and loads to work with there. Yeah, that is a huge find. Really nice. I see this again. He hears those footsteps over and the swing at the pillar as well. Yeah, feeling good about that one. They should absolutely be excited to see what comes in the future. There's going to be this plant money that helps out Diamant. But Fighter's in a great position, I think, to keep this one moving. Time going to tell. I think finding that first rifle is just like the little bit of gold dust that they needed to have the confidence to take this map.
Yeah, agreed. Corsa. Holding a double smoke in towards Funnel Rebox. Ricky gonna play behind it. Byfield. Nice kill for him. Yerne will answer with one back, though. That is important. He's made a step, but he spotted a gun barrel, too. But Byfield's getting aggro, and Byfield's doing great work. Ricky will get caught, so it's all on the Brit. As Byfield needs to bail them out once again. We saw him get a big two-piece just a couple of rounds ago. And he might need more than two in this one to keep fighters in contention.
A lot of damage done. They are unlucky on that fighter's side. Crack angle here for the AWP. Who bites first? It will be the T's moving in. Oh, and Byfield gets both. Here's that final player coming in behind him. Drops back to give the space, and it should be the round going their way, honestly. He's got hardly any HP. 7 to work with. And Byfield just drawing all the attention to him. Clutcher will indeed live up to his namesake. We've got a lot of just, like, what would it be? Verb-type guys working their way in with the names in this tournament. But yeah, Clutcher finishes that one for fighters.
That's it. And now a significant bit of space. It's such a back and forth here as well, but you know, credit to Byfield. He does so well with kind of his initial 2 and then the follow-up. You know, we talk about these moments having big rounds, but double digit, you can see what it means as well. Really hyped there. And yeah, I mean, no surprises. Also, to further the confusion, right? So you see this team, right? Fighters. You got kind of a mix of nationalities. You obviously got kind of Battlefield from Britain. You got 3 guys from Slovakia, being that Clutcher, Nerri, and Rayquaza. Rigi, according to HTV, is from Kosovo, right? It's Rigi who's in the Slovakian jersey, but he's never played for Team Slovakia either. Even more confusing.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, it's Rigi in the jersey.
Where did this jersey come from?
It's Rigi in the jersey. So I'm like, you can tell I've been like really trying to like figure this out. The way I figured it out is because of the celebrations, right? When we get into his cams, he's using like an Ursus knife with like red gloves, and I can tell. I just on top of the scoreboard, and I saw him hold tab and hit top. And it's, you know, it highlights his name top of the scoreboard. That's how deep in towards this I'm really trying to figure it out. But now I'm even more confused because why is it him? Who knows? Nerri, we'll find Uni. Bomb goes down. Looks like Fighters actually might just be saving this one. So DM on. They do get a slight breadth to stay afloat here.
Big round, big find. Unlikely one as well on that lower buy. Oh, not going to make it out with that M4. In fact, it's weapon delivery for Destro, so he'll be very happy with that. Byfield also falls in the end. It will be a big old round for Diamant then. There's not quite enough cash. I mean, those saving guns were kind of needed, to be honest. And this is another thing, you know, I talk about it. As a fundamental, you don't really think about it very much now at the level that we usually cast. But when you see a few mixed lives, learn how to save properly. I think a lot of teams could really benefit from that in this tournament. You know, we've seen a lot of players just hanging about and a bit too close and still wanting a kill. And it's like, nah, I mean, just run away, get together, and save the damn guns, man.
Do you want to hear my caveat, though, to that? Right?
Sure.
I've like sort of said and thought this for a while that I actually think this is the hardest map to save on in the competitive map pool.
No, that's true.
It's wide, but it's not long, and wide maps don't help for saving. There's like basically like no real, like, you know, every map has like a certain place where you can save. You know, Mirage, if you play on B, you save in Palace, or if you play on A, you save in B apps. You know, on Inferno, you just save every round because the map stinks. You know, Nuke, you just go into any of the spawns. Like, they all have their designated spots. This is the only map, if you think about it logically, that actually has literally no designated save spot. Like, the only one you could maybe make the argument of is like on CT spawn, like water area, but that is so here essentially on the beach. That's the only one you can think of. But even then, they're so close to the sides.
No, I mean, this is true. I agree with you. I think there's still an onus to like committing to the save, you know, especially in that round. There's a bit of sticking around and whatnot. And then it's also, I'm just kind of applying it to like a lot of the lower level teams that we've seen over the past few days.
Yeah.
Generally, even on other maps, not saving with all of their might, as it were, you know? So
yeah,
I think it's difficult to watch sometimes, you know, as a commentator, when I suppose we have a bit more information as well. It's kind of hard in your head, but I think a lot of teams would benefit from just like, right, we're now saving, that's the call. What's the save setup look like, or how do I really make this look effective? Either way, we've moved into the next rifle round with all that yappage going down. The fighters still have a lead here, but it could be short-lived.
Yeah, it's slim. 2-round game here. Rayquaza, nice time for him to step up. Byfield holding in towards Prism. As Riggy spamming on the smoke, who does well. Riggy for 2. Job done by him. Surely impossible, and an overlooked angle up close. He didn't need to pick their nerri, because it's also given Juxi the chance to pick up the bomb. However, he's legged. Oh, quick reaction. 1 versus 2. Where is the second player is the question he asks himself. He's crossed. He's bearing down on Byfield's position. Who's quicker? It's Byfield. Fighters find 11.
Yeah, looking good with the guns, man. I think, you know, there's an argument getting caught off in those lower buy rounds. It does happen to the best of teams, of course. But when it comes to the conventional Counter-Strike and a bit more structure to the rounds, they look very, very good here. So, impressing to say the least. Diamant, we had higher hopes for them. Could come down to the map for sure. Got that Ancient coming up next. Oh my goodness. Frustration maybe. Jixi basically almost dying to the molly, almost dying to the nade. Really wants to get this AWP working as early as he possibly can. Molotov in. Trying to chase this player down now, but it's a double swinger. And Rayquaza will capitalize on all that damage done by the molly, bro. Like, yeah. That's what a lot of that comes down to.
You know, a real argument to be made that did you need to dive through that molly there, right? Destroyo finds Byfield, but Rayquaza again. He gets set up to try and make it a 4th. I mean, he individually's done great in this round, but it's still looking like Diamant will be taking a 9th here. It's 1 versus 2, and now he's in 2 minds about where to play.
Could be big. Hidden in the corner here. Will he be thought of? Got half an eye on him. He's playing so patiently, and Yerne is just too ready for that one. Big find, Diamant. Their last chance it felt like, and they are able to get it, so this could be huge. Bringing it within 2 now, and despite such heroics in the early stage, they managed to convert. Really well found by them. In all honesty, Rayquaza with the heck of a round. Just not a lot of support.
Yeah, basically, despite Rayquaza's best efforts, because my God, did he try in that one, but to be 2-round game again. This is the real back and forth. Juxie's sneaking his way forward, actually. Initial flashes, sure, but basically looking like a contact play. And it'll net the first. And it was the hero of the last round, was the first of 4 here. Diamant was expected to get the 10th. The molly would have seen off nerri if it wasn't for Destroyer's AK anyway. And this round's all but done. Again, I mean, it was anyway with the buy, but now it's very much confirmed.
Yeah, smooth. Hopefully denying any chances for the fighters, just to really stop them in their tracks. We'll find out, though. Going to be a flawless one for Diamant by all accounts, and now it is on the rifles. Looking good. I mean, you know, this is the competition that we wanted from this game, at the very least.
Yeah, it's true.
Happy that we get that. Just a case now of who is able to get over this final obstacle right at the tail end. I mean, there will be a buy, but it's going to be a tough one over here for the side of the fighters.
Definitely wasn't as well for coming in towards this game how I expected it initially to be. I really thought that Diamant would have the drop all the way through, but it really feels like the fighters, they've worked this map, obviously, as they've been their pick now 2 series in a row, and obviously looking very good for them, but a 1-round game, and definitely that real pressure on the CT side here. You know, for fighters, you lose this round and finances are going to be shot. Oh, Byfield had the angle, but he actually overflicks the position. Second time of asking, we'll get it. And he gets out as well.
Journey. Molly in, but the fight is better from Clutcher. Really great find from him there. Bomb as well. Got to be careful. Does get dropped. Fighters back with a vengeance in this round. A lot more confidence out from them, and pretty much the entire team able to chime in to make that one happen. Huge conversions. Moving up to 12 now. Diamant, not fully down in the dirt. They will be able to buy, but backs up against the wall, and I think they wanted to at least take it to 11-11, you know, and really make things look good.
Map point. This is money to work with. That's such a big round, though, for fighters to take. Really, when it felt like it was on that, you know, last legs in a little bit. You lost that round, and actually all the momentum swings the way of Diamant. Bash in, they're going to send in Yerne. Not loads here, though. Molly will force Riggy away. He'll drop one of his own to slow them down.
Uh-oh. Big fight from Uni. Nerri finds himself alone. The secondary orb. Oh, and maybe should have stuck to the M4. Looks nervous, to say the least there. This is a big save for me, unless they can find something cheeky through these smokes, but does not look set to happen. It is indeed going to be the move. Ooh, to save. A little break, but yeah, just no peeks. Diamant not throwing this one down the toilet, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Is there an OT brewing? That is the question that I'm looking at now, and it's basically one or two choices as we heading towards this final round in regulation. I like the idea to hunt, though. I really do. Clutcher. Nice move. Wants to keep hold of this AK. And it looks like he will. Nice little double from him. Oh, my God. Byfield. The nade actually doesn't hit him. Just about stays in the air before exploding. 11-12. Only two ways this goes now. We finish the map, or we go to overtime. And it's been pretty back and forth throughout this series, so the OT wouldn't even surprise me that much. That was a good round from Diamant, though, but can they replicate it? Do a back-to-back? That's looking harder to come by. Flash on the angle. Two close positions cleared, and Byfield will get smoked. That'll force him away.
Decent utility down. Are we going to the overtime here? Just one on A. They are bolstered up on B. Did not enjoy it last round, I suppose. And Diamant, going for the straight switch up. Clutcher's going to die. He's alone, bro. He needed to stay alive, to be honest. Requires a mollied off. Forces himself back. Meanwhile, Uni with the slow burn lurk. At the very least, confirms the information that they're going to take a while to get towards A.
Sure.
He might have to move a bit faster, though. We'll see. This is a dangerous kind of flank. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. However, they're just so ready from on high. And there he comes in behind to take us to the OT. Diamant keeping the dream alive a couple times there. Backs up against the wall multiple times in that second half. Felt like it was going to be over, but not the case.
Yeah, honestly, fair play an immediate fighter's timeout off the back of it too. You can get one, of course, heading in towards your OT, but bit of a tilt to let that slip. And with that kind of the great reset, how much of an effect is that going to have, right? You know, for the fighter side, how dejected do you feel letting that slip away from you? You kind of saw, you know, even this man in particular, Ricky, he was kind of so hyped up in the lead they were taking, the amount of rounds they put on towards the board, and then letting one drop like that. I think it's, you know, pretty reasonable, if anything, really, to feel pretty dejected, right? You put so much energy in towards these rounds, and the mood shift is so quick. An advantage, kind of for me at least, momentum-wise, swings quite heavily towards Diamant. It puts him in a spot now where, you know, 2 back-to-back rounds at the tail end of that half that were taken quite nicely. You get another one to start off this OT, they could actually spiral and snowball really well to build up a bit of a repertoire here before moving into CT. And at that point, it might be too little too late for fighters.
Indeed. Yeah, really could get out of hand here. The overtime. It's a scary place to be. And I mean, again, for teams that maybe playing quieter officials, under the radar officials, might not get as many OTs, might not have as much experience here. Contact towards A, little step. Don't think it was heard, so they're lucky in that sense. Could just be one guy at the moment. What do we have on the fighter's side? Oh, gonna get, yeah, caught with nades in hand, not expecting that fast of a scale up. Clutcher struggling over here, and he seemed to be aware of that fact. Bullying him the past couple of rounds. Rayquaza will at least trade back, but they've gained the site, gained the space, and should get the bomb down momentarily. There it is.
Similar sort of post-bomb position as well. UNA playing up close. Hot flash avoided, but those bullets aren't. Still, it's a good little attempt in towards this retake. 1 versus 3 now. The last one of Byfield gets a tag. And they cannot win it off. That's a big, big retake from fighters. And the 3 staying alive as well. That is not too shabby at all. Actually, pretty impressive, to be fair. Byfield, I think, gets quite hard done by not to even get the kill to confirm it. I felt like he deserved it because he knew exactly the sort of fight he was taking.
Getting interesting here, though. The fighters, something that we talk about as well is like allowing the pressure to be released, you know, into the OT. I quite like that angle, that it's, you just see a lot of teams that are worried about, well, we got to close it out, or
yeah,
you know, don't let them win this round or whatever, and then they get into the OT and it's like, okay, just back to playing Counter-Strike. Feels a bit more TDM-y, which these types of players are going to be more comfortable with. Rayquaza
sure.
Completely caught out in the open, deer in headlights there.
Happens to the best
with like no eyes, it felt like. Yeah, he's just completely unaware. Easiest kill of the game. Some team kills coming in here, but a solid man advantage for the T side.
Bomb goes down. Now what? Tough spot for sure. Ricky's got a decent timing here, but Juxi holding for angles, and Ricky's going to take a lot of damage to the HE. Gets him behind. Has a nade of his own. Decent bounce. The molly behind it too will force Libra out into his death. Riggy's giving it a good attempt. It's put us now 1 versus 2. And it's all on this man. Byfield, he just doesn't have the time. It doesn't matter anyway. Juxi might die to the nades. He doesn't. Probably dies to the bomb. Will he get away in time? I don't think so. Oh, okay. Ready? It's not as big as I thought.
What's going on Anubis?
It kind of felt like he was next door to the bomb site.
Yeah, what the hell's going on, man?
Whatever. That's, you know, if this was Nuke, you'd be in 1,000 pieces across Cedar Creek.
Inferno, like,
yeah.
You know, for goodness sake, what's going on?
Yeah, well, you know, God, it was next door. He was in camera, but whatever. He survives, but it's a tied game. All right, you take the round back, and you take it back in blood. So, 13 apiece. Round of the half. It's a good start for Byfield. Destroyo, very bold. Arguably very unnecessary.
Warp out. Nerri, we saw him struggle with it a few rounds ago, and it maybe cost him the B hold. Here, he has delivered one. Can he deliver another? The position looks good. Fighters should be able to convert from here, you would assume. As I think they should just fall through the motions. A lot of damage done onto Uni. They've got like no amount of control to work with as well. Diamant were pretty set on B, and it's just fallen apart. Not really happened for them.
Well, 45 seconds. 3 remaining for this T side. Molly will force out Riggy. Oh, I just actually needed that Byfield shot to connect. Trickshot reposition. Okay, we're back in blood a little bit, but either way, 20 seconds. We've got to go, guys. A-site is the right call here. Only one man holding it. It's at a clutcher, and he now should know that they're coming in this direction, but he might be a little bit late to the party. Now keep an eye straight on him. They've got to win this fight, and they do. And they do. But still, 2 versus 2. Bomb needs to go down, and a nade that'll come in towards camera. Bomb planted. 2 versus 2. But the HP difference is massive. Byfield waiting for a swing of that orb, but they're not giving to him just yet. Uni, as long as he doesn't peek, he'll be absolutely fine. They double swing it. They tag him. They only spot one. But there's nowhere now. Rayquaza is all on Uni, and he can't get it through the box. It's Rayquaza who bails them out.
I mean, fair try, though. Diamant have got to try and ride that high, that at least they bring it close despite the parameters. Can see a little animation coming in. Trying to see if I can recognize, you know, the player and compare it to the face pictures, but it's a bit tough. We only get them for like a second.
Yeah.
I want to say it is going to be from that Diamant side of things. Maybe Uni himself, actually. Looks a bit similar. Either way, 14-13 in favor of the fighters here, as they are looking to close things out, take their map pick, move across to Ancient with a heartbreak dished out. It'll be a really scary prospect if that happens to them, and then they have to go into Ancient, which is this Diamant favorite we are led to believe.
Very true. Shot taken. He first 2-4. Really, you can see a trading of blows between these two sides. It's still so hard to call. But it's a really important kill to get early. Riggy has definitely been the danger man. He's also been the hype man as well. It's now going to be a voice from the grave. No commitment yet, really well where they want to go. Yeah, poking and prodding a little bit towards B, but it's generally the core heading in towards mid. They won't be tested through mid just yet. It's a bit more of a standoffish approach for Diamant. They're kind of inviting in the pressure.
Oh, Nerri. Checks it, but just not cleanly enough. They have got the mid control here, which could get kind of freaky. Few options. Libra with the pre-fire will let him down. However, double stack to heaven, surely got to be enough. Byfield flanked out eventually. Just too many members to get through. Great little setup there from Diamant, as they will even it up quick. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Keep them off of 15.
That's it. That's it. And now to see, really, how about kind of building upon that. 2 rounds required in this sort of kind of quick succession from either of these sides to deny this being another OT. for me, steal feels pretty unlikely. I kind of feel like where we are, again, I've been putting kind of the trading of blows and the back and forth. I have a feeling that another overtime might be required. Might be kind of cursing it into existence a little bit, but it is this feeling that these two sides have not given up too much. We are paused, though. Just checking out. Someone dropped out, but they're back.
Yeah, we've done all right, though, in this game, to be fair. I feel like the last one we had quite a few tech pauses coming in. Not so much... could be the your human tech pause. You know, it's been a long map. So, toilet breaks potentially needed.
Yeah, which is valid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look. One toilet. There you go.
See? I've been around, man. I've been around. I know what I'm talking about. What can I say?
Smart man.
Don't know about that. I'm a lot of things. I just know I've played some long games of Counter-Strike myself, you know.
Yeah, you know what it's about.
Yeah. We do talk about this though. What happens on stage? You know, it just seems like you got to play because they don't leave in crazy OTs. Maybe if it goes like 3 OT, you might have a chance at an extended break, right?
I think also maybe partially there's like a bit more of like I don't know, like an onus kind of thing to kind of say like, once this map gets underway, like, unless in like an extreme circumstance, they're not going to let you leave. Like I have seen, I can't remember who it was now, and I want to say it was JL. He was like actually sick at an event, like he was like, you know, down with like a real fever and whatnot, and he did take a couple of breaks going kind of like to the toilet. So it's definitely possible, but I think there's probably like more kind of pressure by like the admins to be like, this is your 15-minute break in between. Use this to go to the toilet because we don't want you getting up during the game, kind of thing. And also, probably even I would make the argument that your coaches would say that, right? I feel like most coaches would be like, use this now because once we're in the server, I want you to be in the server and locked in.
For sure. Either way, we are firmly back into it, and a solid minute gone from the round, and not much happening. So, really quite tense here. Hoping to deliver that 15th round first. You know, a small sigh of relief. You don't want to admit it, but
yeah, you're right.
OT is certainly better than losing 16-14. Libra spots a shadow, takes down Clutcher. Will be smoked off eventually. Destro also not ready for the next man. Quick from Riggy. That could be the big kill. Bomb needs recovering, though. That was a little close. That was merely an oversight. We will get the plant in with about a second to spare. With all this panic, they have lost track of the final couple of players. Going to be Byfield to clutch up from this position again. The bomb planted pretty nicely for him. And they're going to know about him. Can they do anything? Flash comes in. He turns away. Able to reset, to tap on the bomb. Going to be tough to win this one out. Uni will take him. He needed one kill there to make it happen. Nearly very well played, but just could not find that first kill.
Map point. Now I'll take him for Diamant. And first time at it as well, right? You know, we kind of saw in the regulation towards OT, it was the other way. It was fighters with that advantage, and it was the kind of claw back from Diamant, but now the pressure's really on fighters. You know, you're in a spot where you're on the more advantageous side. That T side is where teams generally like to play, and especially for a more puggier mix like them. But it has felt, and you know, we've kind of had it incrementally over the span of the last few rounds where it feels like there's ever so slightly running out of ideas. But that's a nice opener by Byfield. We'll take that. It's a small angle for him to work with. And a bold choice by Libra to peek into it. Kind of feels unnecessary. He's made Spencer around a little harder. I did say that I feel like there's a second OT brewing with that opening kill. That gets us closer there. They're going to take the mid control for free now. And it's a 2-2 split on the sites for Diamant. No matter where they go, a lot of this comes down to really, can they buy time for the retake? Smoking towards camera, that might force them towards A. Can they rotate the long way round in time Surely Yerne's got to now go up, and he is. He's starting to wrap a little bit, which is the right move here.
Yeah, but I like this, right? It's predictable that they're going to try and move towards B. You can see Fighters taking the long
Get your gun out.
Jixie going to get caught. Destro does get his gun up, but not ready for it. And now they start to burst forwards. Uni can't deliver the heroic hold. And indeed, they completely misread it. It is the simple thing. Smoke's there. They're going to head towards B, sure, but Fighters just divert ever so slightly. Take it nice and wide, nice and slow. And it is brilliant. They get that bomb down. They secure another overtime without a doubt.
And Byfield will. 3 kills to his name. Byfield's had a really decent round there. Opens and closes the door on that first OT. Yeah, these two sides are inseparable at the moment. It's a poorly played one from Diamant, though. Overfighting massively. You know, completely misreading that scenario. The knife out walking through beach. I mean, never going to pan out. But a kind of a game that never ends right now. These two sides, there's still more to give, it seems. Juxing towards the AWP this time. It was Libra who went for the peak in the previous round to start things off. That was spawn-based more than anything. I think Diamant might have learned the lesson. They might go back to a bit more of a defaulty play.
Contacting towards B this time. And indeed, pretty default heavy. Just really trying to see what they can get away with. Yone in jail, dealt with. Byfield's done well to find one at the back as well. Lovely little call here. Just completely against the grain. Solid contact, hardly any utility. Fatiguing game, of course, and Diamant caught completely unaware. So some big rounds coming in for Fighters here as they net a couple in a row.
Fighters, I honestly really thought they'd ran out of momentum. I thought they'd really put themselves into a spot where, unfortunately, it was all but done. But no, they found the second win. Then it's put this in a really kind of interesting spot now.
Terrorists win.
Diamant will save the AWP and the M4. But only the one casualty. Not bad at all. And Diamant going to call for a timeout. You get 1 for every overtime that we get, and they want to utilize their first. I don't really blame them, to be honest. You can kind of see they're losing a bit of a grasp on this game. The question is, this deep into a game, though, on the flip side, despite them being a bit more of a strat-heavy side and Diamant having all the pro scores and whatever, like, what have they got left to call, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's a very good question. Enjoyed those bangers there. Got some, like, 80s synth pop going on.
Synth
Miami
pop,
Vice. Yeah. You know, sounding good. Get you in the mood for the comeback. You know, one last epic go. We'll see, though. Have Diamant got it in them? Again, would be absolutely heartbreaking. You know, you take it into the double overtime and try and net some really big rounds. And they do. But then at the very final moment, could all come crumbling down. A little bit of a header on the smoke. Not going to make too much of a difference, but Fighters just changing things up. They've enjoyed a contact B, now they're enjoying a contact A, and the key thing that has been kind of missing from Diamant's CT sides throughout this one is that aggression, and they just go for some info in the B main. No one spotted, so now they have a better idea of where it's going to end up.
Just setting up the molly. Or back cake, he's met completely by a flash, and I'll make a bit of noise from Diamant of where to look. Shadow spotted. Juxie will open things up. Byford now posted with the AWP himself, though, so can't really afford to reface. Nade bounces the wrong way. On the swing, Clutcher going to try and put pressure on, and he hits that shot. Libra was so blind. He had no chance in hell Still, Byfield caught and same for Clutcher. Bomb gun down, sure, but numbers favor the CT side.
Yeah, big style. Rayquaza. Oh, burns as he tries to get close. So they will know about him now. They're going to start moving in. Just drawing as much attention as possible. Is there that swing to come in to help him out? The answer is yes for a moment. What is nerri going to get done here? Not a lot of time left on that bomb. Just playing around the pillar as best he possibly can and isolates them fully. Oh, it's so well played. It is so well played. Draws them in away from that bomb. He will go down, but he's done enough as they can't get the defuse in. Absolutely brilliant from nerri, who for me has had kind of a struggle fest in the second half of regulation for sure. He has absolutely bailed them out of that round.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Really, really cool round from him. Sometimes it's the more passive approach, which actually helps out, and he just has to play that time. And I think like we see that in especially these really kind of like long maps where you're kind of running out of ideas we talk about, but also I think at a point where you've really figured each other out. I feel like sometimes they overlook that. They really want to put that forward foot and take the fight and take that control because they're so desperate to gain the momentum. Sometimes something as small as not fighting, playing the clock, it's actually a nicer way to win. And a more tilting way, I think, to lose. That's a 2-round buffer now for fighters. They go 3 for 3 in this half. Could be wild. And Juxi, is he going to get checked here? Oh, he is. The shadow betrays him. He's dead.
Big finds here. Destro debating. What do I do? Oh, we've got a massive flank, but Rayquaza is looking and finding. Fighters have just got that second win, haven't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant stuff from them to get a flawless first half in this second bout, and then just needs one more round.
They're flying. They're flying. This is more like it. This is what it's about, and it really quite quickly has got quite damning for Diamant. They're checked out now. They really are. Falling asleep, and it feels like there's nothing left for them to really do in this. 3 rounds in a row required. I don't think they've got it in the locker. Credit to fighters. They've stepped it up in a massive way. I think Riggy slightly has closed down an OT, but one man who's leveled up is Byfield. He's now taking every single round in his stride. 24 for him. 15 deaths. He's having a fantastic map. Maybe started regulation a little so all the way back then, but for the latter stages of this Anubis, it's been led by Byfield.
No, it is very true. And I mean, this is kind of how we know him.
Yeah.
He's a very passionate guy. And if he can get that translated into frags on the server, it's a pretty good recipe putting those two things together. Oh, the team behind him here. Riggy, crosshair in the right place. Oh, Molotov lined up. Got to be careful. That smoke's gone down. Beautiful little lineup, but he lost eyeballs on main. Small miscommunication, I think, coming in. That smoke went down perhaps earlier than he was expecting, and they were all inside of it, my guy.
Destroyer. We first contact through E-box here. Rayquaza's like shifting all the way around. It's going to take him a long time if he wants to get involved in this play. This bomb is pretty far ticked, guys. We've got to start to make a move. Clutcher, nade, and he gets clotheslined by the Destroyer. I mean, Rayquaza was taking an age to get over here, and the second he faced any contact, he's dead to rights. So, that'll be that. Byfield will save. A bit of a nothing attempt to that retake there. So the AWP kept alive, but so are Diamant for now. Like we said, need to go 3 for 3, but at the very least, still in this game. Still not dead just yet. Surely impossible to choke this one out, though, right, guys? Surely.
Well, you would think so. But we're going to see. It's the timeout from the fighters here. as they get set for one last push. One last try. Hopefully to see this one over. I mean, another overtime, it becomes an entirely different game, doesn't it? With the reset and the length of the damn thing. So yeah, really gonna have to look at closing it out right here. Are they going to cook anything up with the timeout? Is it going to be some aggression? Or is it just setting those heads back on straight?
Trixie. Smoke down. At least for now, wants nothing to do with this initial fight. I think he has a feeling there might be something brewing. They're going to go for the boost here. Oh, he's so lucky on his timing there to stay alive. Will deal a bit of damage. Nerri's very, very fortunate.
Marley does make it to Riggy. So he's forced off his angle. Getting a lot of noise on B, Diamant, but actually different ideas right around this corner. Rick Barber trying to be hard to hit. Shadows spotted, nearly takes another head. Libra just ducks under it. What does the recovery now look like for the fighters who are wildly, wildly spread at the moment? Riggy, good catch. Not ready for more, unfortunately. He's dealt with again, and they still have presence outside of B main. Oh, Byfield is lucky. He just comes off the angle, just repositions, trying desperately to find one here. It's not going to happen for him. And lost track of that B main player. Did not respect that there could be one crossed in. Diamant with some gifted opportunities here. It definitely feels like fighters playing with some tension, playing with some nervousness.
Yeah, it's nerves that cost them there. And I think that'll be the round, unless Nerri can pull off something special. He knows there's one close right. And he does get it. 1 versus 1 for him. He's got full HP. He's got a nade as well. Shoulder spot to tap on towards that bomb. Juxie's low here. Pistol swing could be everything. He's got to win it out. Oh my god. He's got it, and he's just got enough time. We spoke about Nerri having a couple of issues and maybe not looking the most confident. But what a time for him to step up and somehow, someway, fighters recover an absolute marathon of a double OT there. And that's only map number 1.
Yeah, crazy guy in the end. Really well done for him. And some big OT plays from a number of names to be
impressive, and I give him that. Flip side though, for fighters, they got dumpstered by Khaleesi 13-2. Like, there was so little on offer. I don't know about you, but I kind of have a bit of an innate feeling about this being a 3-mapper. I feel like it's just because of how poor we kind of saw from fighters. But at the same time, I do like to say that I think statistics kind of get thrown out the window a little bit when, you know, you're in towards a series and vibes become the main factor. And they were looking good towards fighters at the end. They were the better side. There's no twist about it. They hit a lot harder as well. And if we can get, you know, good early starts from Riggy and Byfield, then this does become quite an interesting game. We've got 2 towards A on the initial lead, 2 towards B. 1 playing behind that smoke in mid. This is going to be an A hit, though.
There's a lot of bodies for fighters on A as well. Giving them a lot of room. Diamant trying to see what they can get away with. Contact flash, a return flash from the CT side. Not quite as successful. Nerri finds himself out in no man's land. Wow, the heads roll. Really dominantly, in fact. Riggy left. All alone. Trying to pick up where he left off. Nice little 1-tap to open. Looking for another one. He's pretty healthy here, so could certainly take another name if played correctly. But no, it escapes him. So Diamant, very dominant pistol. Exactly what they needed, man. Just to completely reset things and feel clean slate coming into the second map.
That's it. Perfect way to start things off in a game like this and kind of brush off what was a heartbreaking way for things to slip away and slip through. now a chance to make at least a decent run of it. Double flash is all that the CT side have got to work with. I do like in rounds like this when you don't buy, but you go for the flashbang play to try and give yourself a fight, and that's exactly why you buy those flashes. Max out of Uni was so blind.
Yeah, indeed. Getting into it here. Getting into it. Pistol's doing some decent damage. Byfield's got his hands onto a Galil in all of this carnage. And the bomb as well in an awkward spot. Smoke goes in, bomb retrieved. Riggy with a quick boost up. He's the unknown element, right? They don't know where he's at. Byfield delivers. The bomb plant coming in now in the 1 versus 2. Nice little flash. Isolates duel number 1. Can he take Byfield here? Oh, yes, he can. Despite a dink through the corner of the wall. It's not going to be enough. That is tough for fighters. It turned from an impossible round to an unlikely round to a very, very doable one. And it just does not happen in the end.
I think as well for Diamant, you can still see for yourself, you know, you want rounds like this to be uber clean. Even kind of small things like a couple of consolation kills can go a long way in a low bio. This is the first true test of what fight is all about. Their first performance on this map, like you mentioned, that 13-2 against Rottweilers was so lackluster. I worry for them. It'll be kind of more of the same. Then again, level of competition. It's Khaleesi, man, so not Rottweilers. Rottweilers was against, you know, Diamant. But, you know, Khaleesi, it's like, I want to know how much of that 13-2 was Khaleesi being really good or fighters being really bad. So far, might actually be option 2. Byfield will get 1, though. Can't deny the bomb going down. He's spamming on the wrong position. He versus 4 on the retake, and if they don't get anything in the next couple of seconds, they might be tempted to save.
Yeah, very possible. Nerri smells a bit of a rat. Yeah, he knew that was going to happen as soon as he showed his back. Fighters going in for it, though, and they do get flattened. Another one of those situations where it's like, just commit to the save, boys. You know, just try and take it into the next round. As it is now, they're pretty comfortably going to lose this following round. And so it'll be a pretty hefty lead that Diamant find themselves having quickly as well.
It's true. They're going to put themselves in a decent little spot here. Nothing ready to work with in this round. Again, it's another one of those where I'd normally like a flash to come in. But either way, should be a bit of a throwaway. It's constellation kills. What are you really looking for in a round like this? See if that's the case. Yerne, for 1. Libra will support as well. This is a good opportunity for things like the Mach 10 to print a bit of cash here, especially now that this round it kind of feels already all but guaranteed. Why not send the Mach 10 to go searching a little bit? You don't even care if you lose it.
Clutcher, chilling out. Could catch one on an exit if they're not careful. Just all try and exit together here. Oh, Destro with a big final Byfield. And Uni cleans it up. So, dominant from Diamant. They come very, very close in the, you know, super low buy round. That seems to have really set a tone for this. Just got to be very, very careful now into these following rounds, but they could put themselves in a fantastic spot if they're able to continue converting maybe a couple more rifle rounds. And I think it's like, okay, damn, this could be a really one-sided affair.
Oh. Let's find out. Deep red from smoke. Reggie will open up proceedings. The 2 rounds that fighters got were on the CT side, and they're really hoping that they can make it more than 2. Uni will creep up forward. finally with an opening kill to work with. I mean, it's a nice spot here. That molly shouldn't spread onto nerri. Yeah, it won't. It still is going to be considered here by Uni. Smart man not to overlook that position. Knows there's a possibility of it not properly spreading. How well would they clear this, though? They're sort of waiting for the swing. Nerri's making a move. Oh, yeah, he does get one for it. Falls asleep and should have held the angle. But still, a couple of kills come back in place for the T side. It's a numbers advantage fighters. With 45 seconds, this feels like their best chance we've had so far to get a first round on the board.
Got to be able to convert then. Byfield misses his shot. As it's an awkward little jump peak coming through, but he's going to survive. They get the bomb plan. They force it away. I had high hopes for a moment there. Riggy, though, coming in to find that kill has just confirmed it. Destro can't get away. He was low HP anyway in a 1-on-3. So fighters, first on the board. Kind of at the perfect moment, right? This is where it could have got very scary, as I was saying. Brilliant stuff. Can they string it together? Can they break the back of their opponents?
Yeah. Well, it's about that consistency. It's about that snowball. And whether it's a possibility. Getting the bomb plan out of a spot like that, though, is actually still pretty decent. I think, you know, let me safe to say at one point that I was looking and feeling a little funky. So getting out of that spot, some level of a silver lining. It means that you have buys for this round and the follow-up. And a nice opener as well. Nerri swinging into his elbow. Down he goes quickly too. Libra looked tempted to push through the smoke here. He might still do it.
No one really home on B anymore. As they're trying to re-aggress towards mid, I guess. Smoke's just come in, so that's a bit tedious. They're really hoping for an open fight and starting to bank a bit more on A. So we're going to see things are getting interesting. Will that be the correct call? It does look like what they want to end in cube. Fighters, meanwhile, really determined to get this mid control back, and there is going to be a head-on fight over here. Flash in is good. Oh, man, it's too good. It's so simple as well. It's just a straight, like, underarm flash that they've gone for, really. Byfield, though, is still here, and there's no one in A main to deal with him. He's the only one left. He's got to take down the entire team. It's not a bad spot to do it from. Just over faces onto Jixie. Not going to happen. Diamant back on the board immediately.
Yeah. Kind of credit, though. Good effort from Byfield. But still, it's... You finally get around on that CT side. You finally put a... what feels like maybe a chance, a bit of pressure on, and quite immediately get that response that comes through, and you deny any chance of that CT side snowballing well. Diamant, you know, we like you mentioned, we got that, you know, insider info, quote unquote, from our good man Sermon that this is a good map for them, and it's no joke. I mean, they're completely more comfortable than they were. Oh, what a swing from Yone. Poor Byfield just gets his head absolutely ripped.
Ooh. Quads are also same kind of fate. It's just getting dominant now, isn't it, really? Unless they're able to find, like, a good opening fight, fighters are just getting rolled. No structure to the CT side, to be honest. Even the setups, not really getting anything done. So, yeah, it's worrying stuff, to say the least. And Diamant, again, back in prime position to just start dominating cash. Not really there. I mean, the fighters have got the loss bonus built up. They might try and get something going in the next round, but yeah, it's just not happening at this stage. And Diamant, completely different looking team, much more comfortable here, that's for sure. Nerri's AWP goes down, and so it's just an MP7 making it in.
Time are taken. Actually, the first by fighters, but I think we're getting to the point now where I wouldn't really mind this side sort of burning. Maybe even like, you know, the majority, if not all of them, in this first half. You have to have some sort of CT side on Ancient. It's a map that these days is pretty evenly matched. You've got to be getting, I mean, kind of at least 5 rounds to be really comfortable. I think kind of 4 is like your absolute bare minimum. And the kind of way things are right now, I mean, getting towards 5 feels pretty unlikely. Like, they are, as you kind of aptly put it, heading in towards that the start of that previous round. Like, they're just getting kind of owned at the moment. Like, it is looking really quite dominant.
Aggression in the cave area. Trying to net an early fight, but nothing comes their way. Diamant boys back off from B and are looking towards the A-bomb site instead. Which does have a decent amount of utility down for a round like this. But they're really, really banking on a B hit. You can see these 3 players just stacked on top of each other. It's a lot of very like gimmicky, desperate type stuff that's going on at the moment for fighters. And I'm not against that in a round like this, for a team like this, but not going to work in this round. They're on the wrong bomb site.
Yeah. Simple as it. The question is, though, do they commit? We spotted one in towards Donut. Is that going to maybe tempt them to look elsewhere? Like, it could be the worry, but the answer is no. They actually see the presence and they go towards it. Holding for the flank. Watch all upgrades. This is still a little messy on the sides. One spotted. Another dropped as well. Bomb goes down, and that'll be that. I mean, for Clutch, just keep on to the AK. I'm surprised he's even kind of given this a real look. But then again, if he just get a quick kill, there might be something on here. He's now all that's left. Flash being set up, but a pop that comes over. He's spotted, he's dropped.
So, Diamant now up to 7. Small blip, small mistake in that one loss round, but ultimately it has been all about them for quite some time. And a lot of these rounds looking really one-sided, bro. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Fighters, I think, from a pug perspective, maybe, but like from an official perspective, this map just clearly is not worked up. They don't have much of a game plan at all, I might debate, so not looking too good at all. But we'll see. Back with some guns. Can they get those individuals that really did so much for them? On map number 1, back in the conversation. Rayquaza goes down early and Riggy just deleted. Diamant are seriously looking demonic here. Some really crisp shots.
Yeah, you can tell this is just a map in which they're obviously so unbelievably well versed on. Really, really nice CS. This 7th about to turn into an 8th unless there's some crazy amount of heroics by one individual. Even here, they lose this B site if like the cluster falls. I'd be tempted to save Nerri, maybe. Just keep this AWP alive. I mean, Byfield's definitely not giving it a look in. Maybe sticking around for now. I don't see this being really worthwhile. He will get his kill, but I think with that, get your kill and go.
Makes a lot of sense.
He's just trying to make it expensive. I don't really think it's worthwhile making it expensive. This Diamant side are not going to run out of money before the end of the half.
Yeah. Well, this is what we were talking about, man. It's like, commit to the save.
Yeah.
Really commit to that save. No idea about Destro here. Should be able to drop this off, you would presume. Oh, he does get a shot off, to be fair. But yeah, just the one AWP making it out then. Not looking good. Honestly, the double-digit half finish is definitely on the cards for me if this continues.
Oh, absolutely.
Has been going.
And the way things are panning out, I mean, just even looking at how these rounds look, I'd be so surprised if it's not the double-digit finish. You can just tell it's such a well-repped map for this side. You know, we kind of know they've been playing a lot in their ESEA season and whatnot, and we can see it here. Just going to try and go quick. Molly, your force clutcher away. They're diving in. Yerne will clear that long position. Libra needs to be wary of the spam as Rayquaza dives in. Down goes Destro. He's had a couple of really good moments, especially in the kind of lurking plays. Laying behind, that gives information as well to fighters that there's no one immediately holding that position, so it allows them to scale, but it also slows them down too.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one, man.
Save again.
There's just like no time, bro. They're just too slow.
Yeah.
Got to get a player on the bomb maybe like right now. It's close. I mean, 10 seconds has only just gone. They managed to find the right kill, though. And unfortunately, they're just all set up really, really well on the Diamant side to spray them all down. I think you do just have to concede that one at a certain point, but it's like, it's 9-1 or bust, and I think 9 is going to be a scoreline that you feel you just can't win back from. It's crazy, though. It is absolutely crazy. Not happening at all for fighters. They were in the ascendancy, quote-unquote, and just letting it skip.
Yeah.
Letting it fall apart, and they just had no time to get anything done.
Well, let's see. Is there anything left in the locker for them? Ollie down or clear Byfield, he'll tick as well, so he's a known quantity. Trying to get the hopeful spam here, Rig. He needs to be careful not to be caught pushing through that smoke on the reload himself. Oh, two quick kills, and that will seal the round. There was maybe a chance or maybe some legs behind it, but no, and Byfield's all that's left. There's 10 locked in place. Byfield has slightly slipped the net, though, at the very least. Well, I don't know. It's going to make a difference.
It's true. There's a kit all the way at the back. But yeah, it's just getting crazy now, isn't it? The shots that are being landed. Diamant at home on Ancient. I think that is safe to say. And maybe, you know, you pull things up for Overpass. That one's going to be a real hard one to predict. A real slog. As neither team has really moved towards it at all. Can Byfield survive here? The answer is no. Far too many players around for him to get through. The 10-1, quite the other side of the spectrum for this. We had a very, 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 very close affair on map number 1. Getting into the realms of, you know, 2 maps in 1 kind of thing. And now we have a super one-sided affair on map 2. So, yeah, really quite solid stuff. In that sense, that Diamant are able to bounce back in such a fashion.
Can he save face a little bit? That is the question I have. You get a second out of this for fighters, and you know, maybe you can start to believe a little bit. Let's be frank. I think we all feel like this is going to be going towards the overpass. Only damage has been dealt on towards, you know, right at the start of the round, but still no death, and all posted.
Uni creeping in, captures a reload, and they burst forwards. Riggy on the back of the site knows all about this, though. Dropped a couple, nearly another. He just, I think, needed to reload in the end. 3 versus 3. Bombs spilled. They're all going to be in, so the fighters have a chance at picking up a pretty big round here. The bomb refuses to be picked up. Foxy had definitely walked over it, but didn't quite pick it up there. Got to go back now. Picks it up this time. A little weird. They're going to charge forwards. Rayquaza goes down. Yeah, and Destro, you could see it. There was something brewing. It didn't quite look right. The flash comes over, and he catches them fully blinded. 11-1 at the turn of the half, and this one just not getting off the ground at all for the fighters.
Yeah, set it up already. Start prepping. That server for map 3, this one's done a fair. That's such a poor round to squander. But you could feel it brewing. And from a double OT map 1 to a blowout map 2. And 2 more rounds is all that Diamant need. What a clinic being shown by them here on Ancient.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that overpass will be required any moment.
Add on top of that. Yeah.
Get overpass warmed up. Get it ready.
Yeah. We do love an overpass. In the right place. I think this one could be kind of a scrap, to be honest. But we'll see. Is it going to be extended here? Jixie struggling a bit with the Julies, but they're now rolling in with those rotations. And it is Yerne from the back who stays alive. Rayquaza all by himself, and he gets tapped from behind cleanly. 12-1. As it will be Diamant picking up the pistol and closing this one out for sure.
Everything that can go right is going right. So, for fighters, what do you get in terms of a force buyer? Damn, this is brutal. 2 Mac 10s, Tech 9 Deagle, and a Glock for... I mean, Rayquaza hasn't even full ball. He could have very easily got a... an upgraded pistol. He could have got the Tech 9, but he didn't. All he cares about is the flashes. Oh my god.
Oh.
Are they going to lose to this low buy?
Hey, maybe. Libra does find a head at the end. Dishes out a lot of damage, so I mean, yeah, it could fall apart. I mean, the energy of the fighters just feels like they are kind of conceding and capitulating, so therefore, their peaks are not super clean. Libra will capitalize on that. 13-1. Get it over and done with, says everybody really in the end. Yeah. Let's get on to Overpass and let's really break this one down to what matters. That final map of the elimination series here going to be required to decide this one.
Yeah, Overpass, right? I don't really know what to expect coming through from Overpass. It's, you know, it's a map that, for these two sides, we haven't seen a 3-mapper. This is our first 3-mapper.
After, and they've had to do a little bit of a reset.
Or
not
like,
quite sure.
Sometimes, I know there's been the case where it's like, if you get first pick, the other team gets like choice on the side or whatever.
Right, it's often like a coin flip. I think that's a bit of a classic way of doing it, and then you get to decide, which one do you get? Do you get the side choice or do you get the first round? Music is good though. That would denote that we are going to be getting into the action here as things are ready to get underway. Our final map of this series, and the final map for one of these teams as well, Neo, of course, elimination game here in Group A. The winner will face off against the Rottweilers on Tuesday, that's going to be, for the decider game of Group A. Straight into the action. Libra front-facing. His teammate fallen. He's got to take a head here. He's not going to be able to do so. He's gathered a lot of information. Out towards long. Deals with an annoyance, a thorn in his side. The T's are keeping it interesting. The Glocks closing those gaps and finding those heads. Oh, nerri has to net that trade, bro. Destro has been given the run of the mill. Nerri makes a meal of it, but he does get him. Goodness me, that was nearly very disastrous.
Yeah, that was nearly very embarrassing. Nerri. What, he got 2 to his name. And there's 2 versus 2. What do you do in a spot like this? Because will lose his life, so it's Nerri to bail them out. Quad clutch required, but the first step is recovering that C4. It's not going to be easy. He had to catch one on the cross. The bomb is recoverable. He doesn't know it fully yet, and he will have to kind of fight for it. He's going to try and put pressure on, but he can dive down towards B. He knows there was one A site, the other one towards Playground. It's a foot race in which he'll win, to be fair. The heaven angle is the smart one from Yerne, but they can't deny the plant.
Yeah, seen him. They know that he's down here now. Nerri trying to isolate a fight as best he possibly can. His and spots and finishes one. Second has been seen now and Herd dropping down as well. Can he get just as quick of a headshot round this corner? He's really trying to bait him in, play him close with the Glock, the spam all over every part of his body apart from his head. And Yerne will take him down in the end.
Defuse comes in, and Diamant start well, and I guess in a sense kind of continue well. And I think as well the real thing is getting a strong start in towards this map would have probably alleviated like a lot of the pressure that was built up off the back of such a dominant loss earlier. But the fact that you don't get it, I mean, yes, it's close. Nerri individually does all right, and on top of it too, it's like, you know, a bomb plant does mean a buy, but it's the rounds themselves that are gonna really give you that bit of breathing room, and not getting that, the quicker this deficit that builds up, the more worried I'm gonna be.
No, that is true. Fighters looking to remain competitive with an immediate response. Full pack moving in. Full contact. What can we get away with? I mean, it's a passive setup from Diamant, in fairness.
He's got a
First
pack mentality, this, I think, if you're the T side.
should be workable. They've not found an opening kill. I think that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And they've just not had it. Nerri's AK could have been scary, but he's denied away, and they are just completely flattened there. Really well done.
Yeah. No complaints, really. Nice bit of work. And now a question again of, can we continue kind of building upon that? I think, you know, for me, kind of where we're at with this side, it's like, how well can you play this as if it was like a normal kind of face level game? And I'm thinking back to, like, you know, obviously I'm nowhere near the level of these guys, but even at kind of my plugs, I do think this can be like a really like uncomfortable map at times to play if you don't have proper synergy. Like, I've played this map when it's like me solo queuing, and you know, even when comms are fairly okay with my teammates, it still can be really awkward. Like, rotates are long on this map. And on the CT side, it can be difficult. The T side as well. This is the most CT-sided map in the pool by quite some margin. Like, the T side can be so grueling for sides. And again, it comes back to what I've been saying. Like, I worry about the mental state here for this team. You know, it is that you've had such a dominant loss, and you're going into like what is basically the hardest side to play in the competitive pool right now. It's, I don't know, it's not easy for me. It is that real worry.
Yeah, traditionally it has been Overpass, and then I would have said Inferno. Now Inferno's been in for such a long time in its same kind of iteration that people up and down the ranks have sort of learned it, and at least on a basic level. But Overpass still remains in there as like just functioning at a totally different level. If you play the team-based Counter-Strike, if you set up some protocols, if you work on the timing of it all and whatnot. Like you say, it's a big map, and that really means you've got to know those timings.
Oh, for sure.
You've got to be aware of what's going on, otherwise you are going to get caught out. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting here.
Just a tech pause, but we've heard match medic, which is a good sign. Match medic come through means that generally we're ready to get going. Generally. Take a pinch of salt. So it's just like a minute or two. But yeah, for me, like the T side of at the pro level, the T side of Overpass is, it's the worst side to have. And I don't know. I just feel like it just adds to the woes and adds to the miseries a little bit. We are still in this pause, but we're counting down now. There we go.
Yeah, we're good. We're back.
There we go. No buy for fighters here. Again, around which you like a bomb plant, but anything else, very, very unlikely.
Unfortunately, as you might expect, a little, but maybe fighters can take a head or two. Diamant opening up with 2 super dominant rounds. Just trying to set that up. Trying to keep that going. They find the first in this round as well, so often a worry. You see what nerri does, but it's nullified because they'd already found that first kill. There's another overwhelm that comes in. Nice surprise down the stairs. As Clutcher tried to get that M4, he is denied away. Fairfield, however, has crept in from behind. Finds a head 2-on-2 now. What can we get done? In a situation like this, the bomb has not been isolated. There are a couple guns kicking around, but maybe you just want to stick to the deagles and try and get those headshots. All of a sudden, the round has opened up. There's plenty of time.
Reload to come through. This angle by Yerne is yeah. It's so hard to clear this, you know, and with time being of the essence, there's a real world in which this is giving a bit of a half look. But the more he moves to the right, actually, the worse it gets. They will be given a chance at the trade, and they will get it. 1 versus 1. It's a foot race towards B, and to be fair, Rayquaza will win it out. The deagle gets close. His crosshair was in the right place, but the execution not to be. 3-0, but they're made to work for it.
Yes, I think safe to say. And it will bring that econ down, keeps things pretty close here. So it's going to give a secondary objective to the fighters, really. Make sure that you take everybody down, and a secondary result on the cards as well. Win the round, yes, but really could open up that path to recovery if they are able to net this one. Early utility raining on in. I don't think the Molotov is quite good enough, yeah, to cover off part of the angle. Stops the rush, I suppose, which is the main mission. That's a nasty dink to take through the woodwork. But an opening kill for Rayquaza into the middle, that is. nerri, right place. Nearly fluffs that. But he will get it.
Oh, that range. nerri. Down he goes. 3 versus 3 now. As Uni will find Riggy, and HP does favour them. I said that very briefly. Through. Juxie has a pixel to work with, and that is more than enough.
Quaza. Wee, dodgy. Very dodgy indeed. Yeah, this is a difficult one to stomach, I think. Started so very well for them. You can't convert a round like this. Not the simplest, not the most confirmed, but 5-on-3 in terms of the numbers. If you can't convert a round like that, I think it's not a good look.
No, yeah.
Byfield's got a lot of space. Could drop one in from behind here. They do have to be careful. They do have to be aware of the fact that this is opened up. Smoke goes down. Plant comes with it. Nice and open. Jixie is that unknown guy, you know, in the bathrooms that could dish out an early frag. Destro, thankfully, is aware that there could be a push in deep here. But this whole post-plant situation is really strange and I think very awkward to deal with. And ultimately, that's for the CT side. They're the ones that have got to try and worm their way in. Nice molly. There's just not a lot of time for this, man. They have to get on the bomb. It's Destro with the kit as well, so he needs to cross in. He takes a dangerous, perilous journey in order to do that. Byfield comes through for one, and Rayquaza dealt with. It's going to be close here with the kit. And they do just have it.
Woohoo.
Man, that's difficult. They try and throw themselves into it to just get one more kill. It doesn't happen.
Wow. Okay. I thought that was definitely that's right. As you kind of mentioning, like, because it's Destro who's like taking the fight through dumpster. Like, if he dies, like that round is done. Even though there was bodies left, they just didn't have the kit to defuse. But yeah, he doubles back, gets the kill, and then immediately gets on. And it's Uni getting a very important spray there. And that's a bad round to lose for fighters. In the position that we're in, that double stacking towards Bank felt like it should have been strong and it should have been enough, especially with the time. But not to be, and the grueling T side continues. Break on the smoke. Somehow, despite being right next to him, there's no damage to nerri. I feel like that at least like a little bit of chip damage. But on plant, a lost bonus is facilitating consistent buys. Fighters look just a little clueless right now. As mentioned, though, you can go and check out Lorgar, streaming gaming, sim racing, one solution. Lorgar, ready to play. Go and check it out. Wonderful partners for this closed qualifier and beyond. And in these slow fighters rounds, because they do like to play them very, very slow to start off, it's no better time to go check it out.
Hey. Hidden away in the barrels, trying to find a frag through the smoke while also dodging bullets. Destro comes in, picks up where he left off. Man advantage looks good, and Destro's wormed his way in behind. He's maybe not even going to be needed. And indeed, he was just, you know, fully on his own little mission there. The rest of the team standing strong. And it's looking very, very good here, isn't it? Just contact plays from the T side, not really working. Guns are up. They look very clean. Very, very clean.
It's giving me very similar vibes to that previous map. Damning. Damning position. Fighters back into a lowish buy. They might just do something a little bit pacey here. We said they play them slow, but this time they're going to fly into the fights. And now the AWP's here, and so is Uni. Libra all getting into the fights. Last man seen off by the big green. Beautiful stuff. Constellation kill of a couple, but you don't really care all too much. 6-0. CT side is absolutely flying here. And, you know, it feels like every time we kind of cut to those cams on the fighter's side, they just look a little dejected. But to be fair, how can you blame them?
No, it is true. Yeah. It's really starting to become dominant and almost a non-factor kind of game once again. So maybe they've just put their everything into that double OT win. Don't have much else left. Flash not fantastic there for Libra, but he's able to back off and confirm the fact that it's not super busy in towards middle.
Sure opens up into Con. Hasn't been heard, I don't think. At least probably go and give it a look. This flank is huge, though. They're not considering this at all. Yeah. Tech 9. Doesn't even, not even needed because Destro's done all the work for him. Myfield will get a shot. Patience pays off for him, but he's all alone. There's nothing he can do here. Flash comes from short, so be wary of it, but he's moved back and towards the site. This one's done. I mean, he doesn't have the bomb, so wasn't ever on anyway. It's more going to keep this AWP alive, and they're not going to give him the chance. There is no way. Boom, seen off. 7-0. Nothing saved, nothing gained.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe flashbacks of this second map coming in here. They're going to take a timeout. It's tough. I mean, 7-0, bro. I would have taken one at like 4-5-0.
Yeah, agreed.
That's maybe a bit nitpicky, to be fair. They're just really desperate for a first round here, I think, at the end of the day. Will that timeout help them get this? obviously going to have to find out, but I think a lot of very predictable plays, a lot of very predictable peaks coming in, you know, and just not really digging all that deep. Do they have any set executes for this map? We're yet to really see any that are very convincing. So yeah, they only have a few more rounds left to prove to us if they can take this series the full distance.
Byfield takes me control, flashed into the fight. They do take front bathrooms, or at least bar that smoke. Not in bathrooms itself, but they can wrap through Banana. Destro opens up proceedings with a spam, however. They trade mollies in towards bathrooms control, but not a bad spot. That's a nice move from Rayquaza, though. He heard the steps running back towards the site, so he'll push through the smoke and reclaim this space.
Yeah, definitely clever. Still just looking good, isn't it, with the opening kill. Rayquaza feels somewhat confident, going to call the boys across. Maybe they can get something going from short. It will be the contact out of the monster tunnel once again. A slight little spot from Yerne. Nade goes in, decent damage, flash to back it. Waiting for them to come after him, and Yerne will find the double kill. It's all worked out rather well. Once again, they just have the protocols set up, bouncing off of each other really well. They thought that the player in a, you know, short water, in regular water, who you kind of just have to focus on anyway, is peeking you and is the player that was at barrels. It's really quite tough. Doesn't happen though, unfortunately, as yeah, they're just not able to hit their shots. Not looking comfortable here.
I will say, throughout these last two maps, one man who just continues to really look so unbelievably confident. No surprise, Destro. Like, he's just so happy to fight on his own. Like, he barely ever support in a lot of his early engagements. Like, he'll do a lot of the lurking presence, but when he sees danger, he likes to kind of fly into it. It's fun to watch. Like, it's so relentless. But, you know, when you're not getting punished, why wouldn't you stop? Why would you stop, even? Juxie. Another opener will come the way of Diamant off the back of the AWP. Resmoke monster. Yerne. Gonna play anti. Body spotted. Destro dives in again, as we know him too. Juxie needs to be careful here, though. He's still so hard focused on towards connector. And I've realized in a moment that no one's home.
Looking for B once again. And once again finding themselves in a man disadvantaged situation, so not really sure how they get themselves out of these. The start of the rounds are not quite clean enough from the fighters. Jixie will find the first. There's smoke in the way for the trade. Should be that. Nerri and Byfield find themselves alone here. Oh. They will manage to get one between the two of them, but it's just not anything to write home about. 9-0 now. Fighters start the conversation about, okay, we gotta stop the 13-0, guys. We have to battle back.
Yeah. This is another poor buy. I'm so surprised the fighters aren't using their timeouts. You know, they've used one, right? But like, why haven't we just called for all three at this point?
Yeah,
well,
feels like low-key capitulation, low-key giving up.
Yeah, I think it's that mental checkout. We kind of saw a similar thing happen in the previous Juxie. 1, 2. Oh, so quick. So quick. You love to see it. I think this 9th's about to turn into a 10th. And, you know, coming back to the kind of point I brought up coming in towards this. Like, it feels like you got this Anubis pocket pick map, and every other map in the pool has not been worked on. And it's so evident. It now makes it even funnier in a sense. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be necessary, as this will be the last time we see fighters. This is an elim game, but, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, if you actually just permaban Anubis against this side, like, you're probably chilling.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got to work from the ground up as well. Try and find their way in, and honestly, it just goes to show Diamant, maybe it's they who are uncomfortable on Anubis, and then the following maps looking really quite dominant. We saw against the Rottweilers, sorry, no, against Kalesi for the fighters, they just didn't really do anything on Anubis there. So, you know, against like a team that has a preference on the map, they do just look a lot better. So fighters lacking some of that depth. Again, trying to work on the fundamentals as they go and just trying to see if this will be a bit of a longer term project.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of had a few, like, moments, not in this map or really in the previous one, but in kind of like their time here where it's like, that looks okay. And there's like, there's something to like here for this side, but yeah, I guess it's lack of depth, like you said, like it's, you know, building from the ground up. Trixie finally gets punished in that fight in towards Connector. He's been quite consistently just swinging through. This time Byfield will stand tall with the AWP and net his. Question is, at range, do they clear Libra? They're sneaking up here. Ooh, hang on. If they dive in through Divider, it could get caught. No, good reaction. And a second. Oh, that's the bomb. Boys, what are we doing?
Oh, nerri will get his. This is really going crazy. Byfield also, I think, found a player at top con. Still don't have the bomb, though. Down goes Riggy. Yet to frag Riggy. Was hoping this would be the round that he would do it in. The first one for fighters was certainly on the cards. It still is. Byfield attempting. Finds the first. Knows this other player is up close. Playing it well, but Uni will grab him around the corner. Maybe spotting a shadow nice and early there to help him out as well. 11-0. Ooh, boys, we got to get that one round. You don't want to be 13-1, 13-0. You know, that'd certainly kill things if you wanted this project to work out. I'm not sure it would after results like that.
Real sigh of relief for Diamant. They thought the 13-0 was slipping away there until knew the other ideas. Nice shot from him. Byfield, he did have the right read that he was kind of close. Right in banana, but at that close range rifle is going to come out on top. Diving out B through the molly into the fire of Yerne's M4. A swing from Libra. Rigi is finally on the board. 1-12, no longer 0-11, which was obviously a rough scoreline to see, but it's poor Byfield left all alone once again. 1 versus 4 for him. Bomb unrecoverable. Has been spotted, and hey, nice find. He's still got a bit of time to work with, but there's no chance of winning this. This is going to be a 12-0 half. Try desperately, but it's Yone who sees it off. Good round from him, to be fair. Diamant find 12.
Damn. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. The fighters not really in there. I mean, still the spirit's a little high. There's Riggy maybe a smile of acceptance as to what's happening here.
I said it though, like I really did think that second map would have a bit of a toll on them.
Yeah.
They just got decimated, and like, you know, I mean, think about yourself when we're like, you know, us, right? When we play a game, like if I get which thankfully it's never happened. I'm too sharp for that. Oh, shot by Byfield. Hello. My point was basically saying though, if I ever get destroyed, like I you know, I've lost like 13-2, 13-3 before. Like,
sure.
If I like normally I don't care, right? So it doesn't really bother me. But if I'm a pro and I actually do care, like that'd be so tilting. When I cared about football, when I got destroyed like 5-6-0, like it was so tilting. And if I then got told, oh, you got to play another game, by the way, like, oh man, I would struggle to reset. I need a whole day. So.
No, it's a fair point. It's a very, very fair point. And it honestly, you know, it goes up and down, right? Like, there's some teams, some players, some cultures that may be better at it. Some that might be worse. And how do you deal with it, you know? I feel like knowing who we know, this guy, Byfield, probably try and lift them up. But unfortunately, it has not worked. 13-0 now! Oh, it's been a while since I've caught one of those. Especially on the cast, let alone on the broadcast watching. Damn. That's tough. That is tough. I mean, after that first map, I thought maybe the fighters would give us a little bit of something, keep the competition coming, you know? We wanted a close one here, but just not to be. And they have been bested, unfortunately. And yeah, you can kind of just tell they take the one time